Lighthouse TV, myself, Theo Kane, back again at Celluloid Screams. We're just here with the writer and the director of the film we've just watched, Ben. We've got Jemima, the star of the film, and then Jim, the guy that edited the film. So, just watched it, absolutely loved it. Definitely one of my favourite of the whole weekend. And I know we covered a bit of this ground in there during the Q&A, but for the sake of the people at home, just tell us a little bit about how this production come around. Your first feature film, I believe.
Yeah, it is my first feature film. So in 2018, I made a short film called Earn for Hulu, who had just started doing a thing called Huluween, where they commissioned a bunch of horror shorts for Halloween, obviously. And then off the back of that, they asked me if I could adapt it into a feature. And I obviously said yes, but with no idea of what that would be. And with kind of over a few drafts, it kind of wound up as Matriarch, the film that you've just seen.
So when we watched the Q&A, you said that you had to jump through quite a few hurdles to get this film finished and that you come across quite a lot of problems, which is always the case with filmmaking, but maybe a little bit more with this film in particular. So without going into too many details, can you let us know like how you personally deal with those problems when you're working on a film and you're trying to get something made?
I think in my case...
Direct from your car, I heard.
Yeah. So I mean, I did. So there are all kinds of things going on. So COVID was kind of, it wasn't quite rampaging during shooting, but it was still like definitely kind of out and about. And so my son tested positive for COVID on the evening of the first day of filming. So that meant for the entire first week of my first feature film, I had to direct via walkie-talkie, first from inside my car with all the windows up, and then from inside a sealed tent. And then Jemima herself got COVID, and one of the main cast got shingles and had to be replaced last minute. And then there was
shingles is old school.
It is old school. It's like gout. It's like proper, yeah. But I mean, basically, I was unlucky in some ways and extremely lucky in other ways with the cast and the crew, and just the level of kind of commitment and just like, we're all here now, let's just get this thing done. So everyone just kind of, in a way, kind of bonded everyone together. Even it's like having kind of a common enemy, be that COVID or anything else, and it kind of bonds you tighter. And we were just like, let's do this thing, and we did.
When you've got very little time to do something, it can be incredibly frustrating because you never ever have the right amount of time to perfect everything. And everyone working on a film is a perfectionist, and everyone wants to do their best. And quite often you're fighting against time and money and all those kinds of things. But also, I think what comes out of that is sometimes there are moments of mad genius that come just because everyone doesn't know what they're doing, and you've just got to do it. I mean, we did loads of things in one take. Loads of scenes, loads of shots in one take, and you could spend forever, you could do 70 takes, but maybe the first one is the best one. And there's something quite freeing about that, because you don't have the opportunity just to sort of like go over and over and over and kill something to death. You can go work on your instincts, I think, which I quite like doing. And then there were things like some of the problems we had, like with I shut down production for 2 weeks when I got COVID. Yeah. And but that was when the idea for the piano at the end came out of that. So filming is 99% troubleshooting, and then the rest is
Yeah, but in a lot of ways it is a kind of a record of just that moment or that kind of period of time, and so stuff that happened, so the ending, which I won't kind of reveal too much about for people who haven't seen it, but I think the penultimate scene was something that literally only occurred to me because I was kind of holed up in a hotel, watched a documentary about this artist, a guy called Brian Catling, who was doing a thing with the piano, and then just an idea, quite weird idea of something that Jemima could do with the piano came into my head, and I called you up. I was like,
don't say no.
Yeah, I've got this idea. Now, don't say no immediately. And here it is. And she said yes immediately, which was great.
And it must be like such a joy to you if you're working with not only Jemima, the other actress that's in it that we all know from Game of Thrones and Star Wars and all sorts of stuff, Dickie. Like it must have been such a joy for you if these two are like completely going at it and you're getting such good takes. The only nightmare comes when we're editing, and you've got so many good takes. Like, tell me a little bit about like the pacing process.
I mean, there was such a wealth of incredible material there. He was constantly saying, Ben, it's too good. It's too good.
I was saying that the performances are too good. We need to tone it down a little bit. No, I mean, the thing with the main challenge of the film was kind of combining the horror and the comedy elements of it, because it's actually very funny as well as being quite creepy, and it's knowing when to do that and when not. And there was quite a bit of shifting around of scenes, organising things. There's a thing called ADR, like additional dialogue, where you kind of add in lines that perhaps weren't written or said, but add them in post to kind of help explain the story in maybe a more simple way or a more direct way. So things like that, where you're essentially kind of writing in the edit, it's really exciting because you're doing another draft of the film, really. But it was great working with Ben. He's very collaborative. He's very open. He's not precious about the material. He just wants the best kind of version, and he was a really good collaborator. And obviously, Jemima's brilliant. So.
Well, we absolutely loved it. Just want to say thanks for joining us, for saying a few words on camera about your film. Where can people go check it out? I know it's a Hulu exclusive here in England. Hulu's a bit dodgy.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus, all over the world.
And when can they see that from?
It's out now.
So you know what to do. So just thanks again for joining us. And we'll catch you for the next interview. Boom.